the impact of feeling like you've actually checked some boxes. It's not just information that I'm giving you and you being like, what do I do? 5 years ago, I was introduced to the Equiband, and when I first started working with it, there was not a lot of information on the internet, which is actually how I started creating videos online about using the Equiband. About a year after I was using the Equiband was people started asking me a bunch of questions. And so I actually created an online course, the first iteration of the Equi-Course Bootcamp, where I was helping people develop their own program for their horse and their horse's specific situation. But there's a few things I've learned along the way from the first iteration of the course to the third iteration of the course that's launching this weekend. And don't miss it because I have a special bonus that's coming with the third iteration. So the first iteration, the first lesson I learned was I actually hate Facebook. So it was funny because the person who I was learning from on how to build an online course, because it's not something I actually knew how to do before I built the online course, they said, okay, make a Facebook group and then engage with the people in the Facebook group. I found that it was really hard to not only manage the whole online program, but then also manage the Facebook group. So in the third iteration on YouTube itself, we actually have a way to build a community where we can talk about stuff like the Equiband, and you can still get that same concept of a community, but we don't have to go to another platform. First lesson I learned was how much I actually didn't like Facebook. Sorry, Mark. So the second one was I realized that when it comes to online courses, people want to feel like they have made progress because there are milestones. So for instance, when it comes to the Equiband, the first day you're not going to throw it on and then go to work. So that as you're progressing through the online course, because the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go out to the barn and you're going to see where your horse's strength currently stands, and you're going to measure your horse for fitting the Equiband. And that's the first milestone because you have to know where you're starting. The second milestone is building the program. And then the third milestone is actually starting to use it. And so the impact of feeling like you've actually checked some boxes. It's not just information that I'm giving you and you being like, what do I do? The third thing I learned is everyone wants a magic pill. Now, it's very funny because if you and I say had the goal to lose weight, like nobody's going to expect that you take any kind of pill and wake up tomorrow and be 20 pounds lighter. So I don't understand why the Equiband everybody thinks is something that'll happen overnight. If you dedicate 30 days to the Equiband, you will see a difference in your horse. And so the third change I made to the third iteration of the Equi-Course Bootcamp is really highlighting these first 30 days, really getting people to dedicate the first 30 days, because once you see the change, once you see the progress, once you see the improvement, I'm not going to have to convince you to keep putting it on. You're going to do it all on your own because you're going to like the results that you're seeing. But if I can't get you to dedicate those first 30 days, then I'm never going to get you to actually make progress with the Equiband. So the third change I made in the third iteration is getting you those first 30 days and a big old milestone checkbox after you do those first 30 days. So I just relaunched the third version of the Equi-Course Bootcamp. And if you purchase it before the third launch date, then you get the Equibot for free, which is a full-blown chat knowledge base of all the Equiband information I've ever produced. And you can just simply go in and ask it, kind of like ChatGPT, except it doesn't make up answers like ChatGPT does. So it's going to take the information I've given it from what I've produced. And if you say, how many times a week should I use the Equiband? It's going to answer that, and it's going to point to the right content that I've made to help explain what the answer really means. So check out the link down below so you can get free access to the Equibot if you purchase before the launch date. So happy Equibanding, and I'll see you there.